Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. So I could not imagine letting the month of March go by without at least creating one more card with the super cute stamp of the month. You guys all know I loved it. So I thought it might be fun to take the card that I made earlier this month and turn it into a slimline version of the card. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've got all my pieces cut out. We're going to do some coloring, all those fun things. So just let me pull myself up so that I can still see where I am, because sometimes things go a little bit awry. Hey, people are jumping on now. Okay, so if you didn't see the card I made earlier this month, I'm going to add my desk in here and we'll take a look. There we go. Okay, so this is the card that I made earlier this month. It was super cute. So this one I made beforehand, and I'm just going to show you a couple of the differences because I did some fun things with the second version that I actually created live. So, sorry, one second here. I'm just trying to move some stuff out of my way. I was also trying to wait till the train went by because it was like super loud. Okay, so this is the one that I made beforehand, and I was just showing, let me just move some stuff out of the way because I am notorious for hitting my keyboard while I am on. So at least if I move it to the side, there's less of a chance that I will do that. So then when I made it live, I did some distressing on the embossing folder. I added a little bit of clear shimmer brush and I did the coloring. Also, when I was live, I was talking about the color swatching sheet and how I use it. Like, there's lots of different ways that I use it, but I was showing how like I can go from a color palette to pick the colors that I'm going to use to color my images. And you guys have seen me do my color sheet before, and quite often when I start coloring with the color sheet, like when I get a new stamp, I stamp out all the images, color them in. I pick kind of a palette that I'll play with just to see if I like it. And quite often it makes it very easy to adapt it to something different. So I could either pick a completely different color palette, or I can try a different coloring method. So I could use my second image for watercolor pencil crayons or something along that lines, right? So like I said, if you don't have that sheet, simply comment sheet and I'll come back and I'll add the link in. And so I thought this would be really cute. So I've left everything really the same, but we're going to make it a slimline version. And for whoever has not seen the special stamps that were released during Stamptacular, there are some super fun sheets that were stamps. I saw the comment sheets, so I will come back and add that later. And then I got sheets stuck in my head. There are some super cute stamp sets that were specially designed for the Stamptacular sale this year, and this is one of them. So I'm going to use the Sending You Paper Hugs on the slimline version of this card. I'm going to do some things that were on the original A2 size, but we're going to kind of adapt it for a slimline version. I thought that might be fun. So I have my slimline card base. I did pre-stamp some sentiments so that they would be dry and good for coloring. And that wouldn't be an issue. Okay, I'm just gonna try here to lock my focus down because there's lots of white. but just one sec. That's interesting. I cannot see it at the moment. Okay, well, we're just gonna, oh, it's my other camera, that's why. Okay. Okay, the minor focus is locked apparently. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of explain to you how I went about stretching it. So here you can see, obviously it's long and narrow. And originally I thought I would do the paper hugs because it's a big image. I thought I would do it down here and then do my little critters across the top. And I didn't really like the way that looked. So I'm going to show you how I kind of gauge that. So I actually am going to use that same embossing folder, which is an A2 size embossing folder. It's from the annual. It's the Sunbeam one. And I did it twice so that my sunbeams are on each end of the card base that we're going to use. But you could also use the slimline embossing folder. That's the florals one. And then you wouldn't have to worry about running it through twice. So, but I experimented with the sunbeam to see how I'd like it. Originally, I thought I'd like it like even, the sunbeam half and half, but I didn't really like that. So what I did is I did one full version of it and then a partial version. So I liked like the offset balance of that. So like I did when we did this one, I'm just going to distress it because I love the way that when you distress this embossing folder, all those dots just pop. So here we go. I'm just going to move some stuff up. So this is literally just a nail file that's on my desk. Well, it's not on my desk, it's in my tool caddy. So this is mulberry. I used the exact same color combination that I used on the original because I actually really liked it. Because I think it kind of screams, sorry, my camera is actually shaking right now. Because I think it kind of screams spring, and we have not had spring here yet, apparently. We're not getting spring this year. So that's what we're going to say about that. So if I only get it through card creation, that's how we're going to do it. Okay, but you can see how much that pops when you distress it. So I'm just going to actually quickly distress the edges and wipe my desk because we've got stuff all over the place. There were like some crazy statistics on the news today because we're almost at the end of March and we have not had, I know it's like crazy. So we have not had, we're Celsius, just remember in Canada we are Celsius, but we have not had a day above 0 during the month of March, which is actually crazy. The last day we had that was above 0 degrees Celsius was Valentine's Day. And apparently we've never not had an above 0 day in March since like 1818 or something crazy like that. Anyway, I'll stop complaining about the weather and we're just going to enjoy it with my cute little card. So I'm going to add the base. Just like that. And my card is opening this way. And this is the way I want it. So I wanted the long sunbeam on the left-hand side. There we go. See, and that would be super pretty even just with like a sentiment or a large colored image down the middle, some flowers on it. There's all sorts of things that you could do just with the embossing folder. So don't forget that. That not always does it have to be like a patterned piece of paper. You'll see the whole thing I'm doing is just literally with cardstock. Okay. So don't forget, this is what the stamp of the month looks like. It's Precious Moments. And they are all just stinking cute little critters. Okay, so then the way that I decided how I wanted to do this was, so the same elements I picked, I wanted the black. We're going to distress that in 1 second. And then the lagoon, and I wanted little tiny images again, so that kind of look like a... convert it to Fahrenheit. I think 0 is 0, if I'm not mistaken, which is crazy. Like I said, it has not been nice here. I'm almost positive 0 is 0. It's like this funny thing where the two things collide. So, but like I said, I originally thought I was going to do like a big image down here with the sending hugs, and then I thought, well, no, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it just exactly the same. So see, I could get it the same height as my little stamped images. So I have 1, and then we're going to pick 3 of these little guys to put on here. So I have the koala with the umbrella. I have some of the same ones that I did, but I thought the koala with the umbrella might be cute. And then I also did the kangaroo with the little reading to the little Joey, and then the one with the little flower basket. So all I did, because obviously these images are smaller, is I just like stamped them off. I pre-cut my sizes and then stamped my images. So maybe we'll do, I really like this guy with the big flower. So maybe we will go just like that. And I think that looks super cute. It kind of reminds me of like a film strip. So I am going to quickly take my nail file to these pieces. You can also do it with sandpaper too. I just find because the nail file is like good and sturdy, it goes so quickly. You can do it with like your scissors too, but it gives you a different kind of distressing, right? This is actually, I'm just taking that color off the surface of the card. I Googled it. So she says, I can't actually tell who this is, but it says, I Googled it and it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what I thought. It is cold. So but like the worst thing was, I actually went to visit my mom, who is a snowbird, and I thought, oh, it'll be good. For sure, Rebecca, it'll be good. It'll be warm because she's a snowbird. She's in Arizona. Well, no, it was not warm at all while we were there. I went with my 2 sisters for a fun, quick little weekend. I'm going to do this over not on my desk so that I don't end up with the dust. Not to wipe it all again. But it was like literally, it was cold and rained. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was warmer than here. But I wore jeans the whole time. So That is not what normally happens. Okay, so I'm going to actually attach these, and then I'm going to do some quick coloring. So, and I'll show you, because I'm going to color the umbrella. So I will show you how, like, if I haven't colored an image, I might pick colors. So here we go. I'm going to bring over my Versamat because I've now got so much little dust on my desk that everything is getting messy. Okay, there we go. And then you guys can see better too. So if you want, I can put together a quick little sketch with all of the measurements that I used for this card. So I'm going to keep it closer to the top. So I'm playing with like that rule of thirds so that I don't want it like right in the middle of the card. I want it to be closer to the top. And then I have my lagoon piece. And that one I'm just going to center. Okay, and then here are the little guys that we picked. So I do have this already stamped, and like I said, that's from that Stamptacular set. And here are some of the other ones. They're just sitting, like, of course, just off camera, but there's like an alpha. There's a really cute little recipe friendship one that is not in my office at the moment. But then there's the Parisian Notes, which is super fun. We haven't had a background newsprint stamp in a really long time, so I really like this one. And then there's some great sentiments on it, right? Thinking of you, thank you, love you, happy birthday, with love, not love you. And then this one is really fun, summer bucket list. This would be great, like stamp down a whole column on the side of a scrapbooking page. Okay, so this one I'm going to do the same, so I'm going to color him last, because you guys saw me color him before. So if you have to go and do things, you can. Okay, so this is how I use this, like in reverse. So like I said, the sheet, I printed mine on cardstock because I color on cardstock, right? So I want it to be the same look as what I would get coloring on cardstock. I'm going to move that out of my way now. So same with my stamping sheets. When I stamp them out, I always put it on cardstock because that's what I will be coloring on for my cards in the end. And I forgot to grab my pile of markers. So I normally was pulling them all out before, but like the last time I showed you, I have them on my racks. So they're just trays, and I put them in exactly the same order as I have them on my sheet. So for example, here's the top row, and it's the same as across the top of my sheet, which is the same order they're in the idea book. So it's right, 10 shades, gold, brown blend, gold, brown shades, gold, yellow blend, right? And so it's super easy for me to find the color I'm looking for by just looking at my sheet, because they're in exactly the same spot on the trays as they are on the sheet. So here we go. So for example, the koala, I'm going to do the same, but I need to color his umbrella, right? So I'm going to do the flower, the same purples as I did before, which is like the, and see, this is how this sheet comes in handy, the stamping sheet, because on here, right, I can remember, okay, so I colored it with pink violet, the purple flower, right? So, but I want a blue like lagoon. So I can easily see by holding my sheet next to my card what color I might want to use for lagoon. And I'm not necessarily looking for color, an exact color match. I just want it to look good and complement the lagoon. And so depending on how much of it I'm actually doing, I might change the color, right, that I'm picking. But I'm going to go with blue turquoise blend for the Koala's umbrella. And I actually think I might use the orange too that I used in like the center of the flower here. So I'll make it the lagoon color and then the orange, because then I'll use that same orange in the center of the flower to tie these two together on either end, right? So for the orange, I used burnt orange blend. So first we'll do this little guy. So that's how I would kind of always use it, like in reverse. And that's also how these two things, I work them together all the time. So quite often, always when I get a new stamp set that I know I'm going to play with a ton, like a stamp of the month or anything that kind of you would color a lot. I should start coloring and stop talking so much. But I'm going to do the orange in the middle and the blue on either side. And two, the fun thing about these little critters is there's not really a ton of room. So you don't really have to worry too much about having to blend in your colors or anything like that. I will do like a minimal amount of blending just because I can. So and the more you go over it, the better your blend's going to be. And this might not even necessarily be how this little guy is supposed to be colored, but that's okay, because I do want to bring these two things together. Reminds me kind of like a golf umbrella when it's got like the more than one color. Yes, this is much better spring than looking outside my window that still has like piles of snow outside of it. I'm going to color while I have my burnt orange open. I'll just do the center of this flower. And I'll color in a couple, and it's literally just like tapping it down because these ones are tiny in the basket. So just like that. Okay, so then I'm going to go with brown gray blend and the middle one to color him, her in. And I jumped right to the medium. There we go. Okay, so somebody else tell me, my Aussies, this is not a hedgehog, correct? So Judy said on my video when I was coloring last time that she thinks this is the Australian version of a hedgehog, which the name is not coming to me at the moment because of course it's not. But it made me curious enough to Google what it was. Is it something like a something Cena, I think. And I watched like a 27 little second video and they look kind of like angry. They have super long noses and kind of reminded me of like, not like a platypus, but that's what the nose kind of reminded me of. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of pink in the koala's ears. Because on my last video, I did call it a hedgehog because I thought that's what it was. So I do apologize if I was incorrect about that. Okay, and then I think I will do gold brown. Okay, so Bernadette, is that correct? Is that what it is? Acina? So you tell me if you think that's what it is and not a hedgehog. And do I really need to color it differently, or is it kind of the same color as a hedgehog? Okay, so there's that one, but I'm also going to just do the little drops there. Okay. It kind of looked darker than a hedgehog to me, but I've been told there's different variations of them. So we could still do it, hedgehog coloring, and just say that's good. So I'm going to use gold brown shades, but I also have this little basket here. But I'm just trying to decide how light I want the basket. Gold brown blend. I wonder if I did that. So I'm going to go, I think, for my basket with the medium. It looks like a hedgehog, somebody's saying. See, because we don't have them here. And I never actually, the funny thing is, I never put the two things together, that they were all Australian animals, until Judy said something to me. So then I didn't even know that you guys had a different kind of version of hedgehogs. All these nature things I learned over the course of coloring my March stamp of the month. Okay, so for the kangaroo, I'm going to go, and I know there's lots of different colors of kangaroos too, but we're going to have a brown kangaroo. So, but it's going to be the gold brown shades. I think that's what I grabbed. So this is body under here. Okay. Okay, Bernadette's going to help us. So, but they are like the same coloring as a hedgehog, right? Or are they darker? Because the one I saw was darker. It was like almost black. But I can't color that sweet little image black because you're not going to be able to see the face. We could go dark, dark, but not quite black. And it looked like, see, I never thought they were, like, because I just saw them as cute little animals. I didn't think of them as only being Australian animals. And then it looked like in the 27-second video I watched that it had almost like quills like a porcupine. Is that true? See, you never thought that when you came to watch me color, you would get a National Geographic lesson. I need my son here. He loves to watch those National Geographic shows. He would be able to help me out. Okay, and I'm going to just add a little tiny bit of shading. And then some pink, because I already did pink somewhere else. I'm going to just do, like, as I said, we're making them cartoon-like. We're not, like I said, I'm never going to be able to color them probably exactly the same as we would find them in nature. So, and then for green, I did use Alpine green, which is my favorite green because I kind of feel like it goes with everything. The kangaroo does remind me of Winnie the Pooh too. Especially the one with the little kangaroo reading in the pocket with the book. Thought that was really cute. I always, and I've said this before, I always love when this art, because this artist obviously does all of these little character animals because they're quite similar, right? So I always love her pieces, like her stamp sets. So, okay. Now I'm going to keep coloring. Alpine green's your favorite too? Yes. Because I think that it's a good mix that when you shade it or like add the medium or the dark, you can get enough color variations in it that you can like get lots of greenery, flowers, all of those things. Okay, so we're going to do, because I did before, the pink violet blend for the flower. So we'll do it the same as this one. So, but I'm going to make it just a little bit darker for the mulberry. So I'll make it light at the ends and darker towards the middle. This flower kind of is big enough, right, that it's got enough room that you can actually do some shading with it. And right, the same thing, there's the little lines there in the middle that the artist has already put on the stamp set for you to add shadows. So I'm gonna do it all light because you guys always know I always do that. I know that it wears out the lightest end of my marker first, but I like to start light and then know I can always go darker because you can't take color away, right? So, but now I can just go in with the mid-tone, and then right around the middle, I'm going to do the darkest, and then I'll blend it all together. So I did do like just the darkest right around the center, and then I'm going to take it out on these shadow lines that are already drawn. And then I'll blend it all together. Okay, so we're also, that's like not making sense. We're also almost at the month of March. So this is your reminder that the Stamptacular sale ends at the end of March, that we get a new idea book and specials in the beginning of April, which I'm just going to give you guys a little heads up. April is my birthday month. And you might see something fun happening here for my birthday month. Okay, so I am going to do the gold brown shades. We'll make him a little bit darker. So the one thing, like I said, that I saw on that little video was they also have very long nails, which I know we're not going to do on a little character stamp because that might not be fun. So this is the medium one, and I did all of like the limbs. So like this one's going to be a boy, I'm just saying. So the arms, and then if the feet were showing, I would do both of them. And I'm going to go in to the quills here with the darker color. And then I'm going to do the little bit of green that needs to go through there first, because it's not a very big space, so I don't want it to get lost. But I'm going to do with the medium green. And I actually see I have one more flower I need to color there. So let's make that flower purple. There we go. Okay, so now I'll go the lighter. So I am doing this one actually kind of in reverse to how I would normally do it. And I went in with all the darker colors first. Here, I want this just right around his face, darker. And then I'm going to do the light, and there'll be like a nice dramatic difference between the two. But I'm still going to do the cheeks, that pink. That kind of makes you know that they're not really, they're not, it's not anatomically, but they're not like illustrated as they are in the wild. I could also pull up some color off of them too. Okay, so that one is cute. So then the other thing I did is I think I ink distress the edges of the little cards to make them kind of go. So I think we're going to do that. Just let me grab some ink. We'll do mink. I'm going to stand up now for the rest, but I need a sponge piece. Yes, so like I said, April is my birthday month, so you're going to see some fun things happening on Chris's Creative Life for the month of April. So, and if you guys want a sketch for these two, let me know and I will create one. But I think they turned out super cute. Super cute, as I like to say. So I'm just ink distressing the edges of the white, and I think it just kind of makes them blend in nicely with the distressed edges. And you know what? I think, so you see how these letters have like the shadow? I think I'm going to add some color to them. And I think I'm going to use just a little bit of the light pink violet, and then that will tie that image together with all the other ones. And you can see I actually, because when I laid out my pieces, I thought, oh, I'm actually even going to use the same size panels because they just worked out perfectly. You could also doodle around the edges, but I would maybe do that if I had done bigger panels and the animals weren't like, didn't look like they were like not all the way, like they were, like they kind of look like they are a film strip, right? So that would also look really cute if you changed this to be a little bit smaller and made the black like a film strip with all the little animals across the bottom. So the other thing, so this is the pink violet. The other thing that's super handy about the sheet, to the fact that I store my markers this way, is it's super easy to put then my markers away, because I know exactly where they go. So obviously I'm just kind of giving them just a little bit, the word, just a little bit of color to make the contrast not. Okay, Bernadette's giving us a whole lesson now. Okay. So their fur ranges in color from light brown to black. So the one I saw on this little clip, it was like black. It depends where they're found. The further south they are, the darker they are, and their spine colors go from cream on ones found in the north to blacks found in ones in Tasmania. That's very interesting. So it must have something to do with like camouflaging them. See, like I said, you never knew that when you came on to watch me color the stamp of the month, you were going to get a National Geographic lesson, right? So, okay, so like I said, so I can go like this, and when I look at my sheet, I can tell exactly where to put them back in my tray. And because my trays are longer than the actual count of markers, I have extra things in here, right? So like my metallic markers are also on these trays sideways, as well as like my blender pens, and then brown blend. So, and my white pens, my white gel pens. Which if you're having problems with them, apparently you're supposed to store them tip down. But I've never had problems with my pens at all. So Alpine green goes right there. And then pale pink shades is right here. I've never had problems with my white gel pens storing them sideways. And if I do, I just kind of, so let's say I wanted to add white gel pen to one of my characters after it was colored. Let's just say I want to add some detail down here that was white. If it wasn't going for some reason, if you just warm it up on your skin, it actually makes your pen go again. I don't know if it has to do with the warmth of your skin or just what, but if mine ever gets clogged, that's what I do. Is I just, you can sometimes see it when I'm doing videos that I've had to unclog it, because it will be literally on my hand. Okay, so let's finish this up. What did I just do? There it is. I am happy with that. So the stamp of the month next month is about birds. So we're going to have to see what we can learn about birds next month. Other than the fact that I don't really like birds. That's going to be my biggest dilemma. So I'm going to pop these panels up on 3D foam. And I've always been like slightly terrified of birds. Now, the birds in the stamp of the month are cute birds, no different than they make these animals cute, right? So I will come back on right away after I finish and add the links to the sheet. If you're in a hurry, the link is in the description of the video, but I am happy to come back and add the link. So I'm just going to put my foam on all my little pieces first, and then I will stick them down. And I did think about adding like an embellishment on here, but then I think that I just like the little colored images just by themselves, because I was going to grab something out of my drawer, but I actually kind of just like the plain little colored images with no bling on it, which you all know is not normal for me. Okay, so there we go. I am going to take off my tape, the backing off the middle one, or the biggest piece first, I should say, so that I get that one set first. And this kangaroo does remind me of the Winnie the Pooh kangaroo. I just thought this one with the little flower basket went better in the grouping with the flowers than the one with the book. I think that one kind of needs to go on a card by itself. You could also swap these out and do more panels and use a smaller sentiment, like something from this, right? If you did more of the critters across, you could actually add like one of these just across on like a little strip. So like if you filled in all of the little panels, and you could just do like a little happy birthday or one of the smaller sentiments from one of the other stamp sets. Okay, so that's how this one turned out. And that's the other one. So like I said, I will, as soon as I finish, here we go. As soon as I hit like stop, I will come back and add the link in for the coloring sheet. And that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope you have an awesome Tuesday. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.